than I did. He is a weight loss coach to the stars. Good morning, Charles D'Angelo.
Good morning, McGraw and Kelly. I apologize
Hi,
for not being
Charles.
in there in person, but sometimes things do get in the way. But here I am by at least voice.
Yes, at least. How was the Billy Joel concert?
Well, you got to tell me. You know, you had a swarm of, it seemed to be a playmate. I thought of you yesterday with Hugh Hefner passing. I thought, my goodness, we have St. Louis's Hugh Hefner here. McGraw has about 7, 8 beautiful young ladies accompanying him everywhere he goes.
Whatever it takes.
Well, he didn't mention that to
I don't
us.
know if that's accurate or not, but I'll take it, though. Since I'm not saying it,
was a
I mean,
fantastic
that's
show.
what you say. That's what you say, I guess. Whatever it takes. He was good, though, right?
It was unbelievable. He certainly put on an awesome show, and I really delighted in him playing the Beatles cover, Day in the Life.
Right? Yeah. A lot of people don't know this, but Charles, you play the piano, and you're a little bit shy when it comes to playing the piano, but world-class piano player.
Well,
I wish
thanks
you would have
very
gone
much.
on stage with him.
Yeah,
D'Angelo.
why didn't they call you up on stage there, Charles?
Well, you know, I would have been very happy to do it, but the thing is in fact, it's funny you should mention, I had an opportunity to meet with Billy not too long ago, and I shared my story. He had a huge part to play in my own transformation when I was a kid growing up, bullied, teased, ostracized. I found great solace in piano. I taught myself how to play piano by ear, in fact, and it was through listening to his cassettes in those days. I'm dating myself.
Yeah.
And also Elton John's. So in Madison Square Garden back in July, I had the time to connect up with him, and I shared that with him. And we were supposed to connect up here in St. Louis, but unfortunately those protests got a bit in the way, and he had to
They
fly right in
ruined
and
something
fly
else,
right
the
out.
protesters. Now, you said you're dating yourself. Does your fiancé know you're dating yourself?
What did you say, dating myself?
You said you're dating yourself. Your fiancé know you're dating yourself. That's a good line. All right. Charles, how's the weight loss coming?
Everyone's doing fantastic. And what I want to talk about today is pretty simple. And people always ask with the people they see on Facebook or on my website that have lost 100, 200, 300 pounds, what really is responsible for that? And I kind of thought about it before our call today. And there's 3 major parts that anyone listening really needs to look at. Number one, you need to recognize if you want to make this type of change, it's got to be an absolute must for you. It can't be something you're telling yourself you ought to do or you might do, or you do 3 days a week and you take the rest off, or maybe even 5 days a week.
Right.
It's got to be an absolute must, and we all get what we must have. So if you can put that in that category where you're making certain that you're being strategic, you're not being spontaneous with your habits, that will start the process. Number 2, you need to understand that it's you that has to do it. Charles can't do it for you. Some trainer can't do it for you. Some nutritionist, some dietitian can't do it for you. You have to do it. If you recognize it's something that you must do and you have to do it, you're starting to move in the right direction. And thirdly, you have to recognize it's possible. And that's why I put so much out there as far as people who have really transformed their lives through my work, showing people just what's possible in such a short amount of time.
Is it true that half of the job, or your how do I want to say this? The hardest part of the gym is actually getting to the gym. Once you're at the gym,
I think that's a huge misconception to start with, because so many people think that by going to the gym they're going to change their life. And how many of us have seen people year after year at the gym that look exactly the same? So it's not a matter of getting to the gym. It's not a matter of just exercise. Yes, that's a vital piece, but you really need to look at your relationship with food. So many of us, you know, you and I joke on air and even off a bit, but when you look at it seriously, we're using things, all of us do, use things to distract and console ourselves. And all too often, for many of us in our culture, it's food. So things trouble us, things stress us out, and rather than trusting in ourselves that we have the resources emotionally to deal with things, we rush out and we grab something to eat, or we'll turn to drinking, or whatever it might be. So my work is helping people come to trust themselves more by disconnecting between using food emotionally and then in turn starting to trust themselves, so that when things do come up, they're not reaching outside of themselves. It's no different than having a bad relationship with someone. You know, the relationship is toxic. You end up, every time you try to work it out, it ends up poorly. You get hurt. But then you have some distance, and you recognize in that distance, oh, I only remember the good things, and you rush back. So the thing is, you never want to go back to that. When you recognize you have an unhealthy relationship with food, there's only one path, and that's disconnection from that. And that's what I help people work through.
Charles, what's the phone number and the website to find out more?
So my phone number is 314-495-3228, and the website's charlesdangelo.com. And I'm here to tell you that anyone can make these changes so long as, like I said, they're willing to make it a must. They recognize they have to be the one to do it, and they realize that it is possible for them.
How's the book coming?
Fantastic. Inner Guru is available at stores across the country. That's the latest book, Inner Guru. And the first book still, I guess because it's so established, it's been out now roughly almost 6 years. Think and Grow Thin, it's still doing very well.
And when's the wedding?
April of 2018.
April of 2018.
Next
That's getting
April.
close in the window, my friend. It's getting a little
That
closer
is.
every day.
How's your love life, Mr. McGraw, with the 7 girlfriends?
We are just about out of time. Charles D'Angelo, have yourself a good day. Thanks, Chaz. Talk to you soon.
See ya.